Hey guys, time for some follow-ups on the Smith & Wesson MP10. Not exactly where I had wanted it to be. Almost exactly 11 pounds. And I'll run through here and we'll weigh each component, see where we've added weight and see what else we can do to limit that. Obviously this the VersaPod and the mount here weighs a bit. The SureFire brake, so you can see the difference in those brakes. I guess really flash suppressor in the SureFire brake. And this is the SFMB 762 5/8 by 24 SureFire muzzle brake 762. It was I think it was about like 8/10 of an ounce or something like that lighter. The SureFire brake was, but not a whole lot. Running a American Defense mount, which is a great mount, but it is fairly heavy. Also running this Vortex Diamondback 2-7, and that's not a light scope either. That was a kind of a temporary, just throwing something on here for the time being. I really like that Leupold 1.5 to 6, I think it is. That for me, I think was about what I'm looking for. The 2X, I've got a Millet DMS True 1-4, which is a great optic especially for the price. It's like running your typical red dot and then having a magnifier built in. I really like that optic. The Troy TRX Extreme 308 rail, with a couple for the light mount, and I actually just used the same one I had my FAL. Just ran that up through one of the holes and mounted the VersaPod mount that way, instead of like putting a rail on and doing the rail mount and all that. Just more weight. A little bit about VersaPods. I actually prefer them over the Harris. They do have full swivel and tilt. They do lock out, so you can load them. They are a little bit heavier than the Harris ultralights. I just like the functionality better, and I like the fact that if I'm not running the bipod, it comes on and off that quickly. I don't see that many people running them. I'm kind of surprised, but everybody seems to want the Harris. And price-wise, I think you get the mount and the bipod and everything for less than a true Harris ultralight bipod. Magpul MOE Plus, the new grip, and I really dig the whole rubberized. I actually had a Hogue on here, and then had ran across the Magpul MOE Plus, and dig the whole rubberized grip. If you haven't seen those yet, those are just came out recently. And the SOPMOD stock. Just trying that a little bit. It's a little bit lighter than the Magpul ACS or the SDR line. Try to give the Bravo Company one a shot, and happy with it. And the colors are pretty close. And if I drop the bipod off, we're down to 9.15, still almost 10 pounds. So the scope is almost a pound, and I think the mount is almost a pound too. Here, I'll pull them off in a second. We'll weigh those individually. So not as loud as I'd hoped. Didn't really end up. Everything that went back on was, even the Troy mount, I think it was, or the Troy Handguard. I think the Troy Handguard was an ounce heavier than the stock Handguard, altogether with the rail gas block versus the low profile gas block. and I believe that was with the light rail on there. So it was pretty much an even swap. The MOE handguard was a little bit heavier, and the SOPMOD stock was a little bit heavier. So all we've really done is add weight. We probably even swap between the SureFire and the standard brake and the handguards. So if you did those, you'd probably still stay right at the same weight. I'm going to yank the scope off and see what we have then. Let's get these American Defense mounts. Nice, they lock. Just a little depressed though. Doesn't come up. Quick detach. So let's see what we're at with apples to apples. 8 pounds, 8 ounces. What were we? 7 pounds, 12 ounces. So we added about 12 ounces of weight between the rail, bipod mount, SureFire brake, low profile gas block, Magpul MOE plus grip, and the SOPMOD stock. So just the mount and the scope, 1 pound, 6.7 ounces. I believe the specs on the scope are 14.6, so that's at least about 8 ounces for the American Defense mount. Okay, so what are my impressions of the Smith & Wesson MP10? What's good? It's lightweight AR-10 platform, ambidextrous controls, a relatively short barrel, and compared to a lot of the other offerings in the field, it's got one of the lowest weights. Smith & Wesson quality, fit and finish are great. Bad. Let's see. The bolt and barrel are proprietary. You cannot switch between a standard Armalite bolt or charging handle, barrel, and actually even the buffer tube assembly is proprietary as well. So that kind of, if you have multiple, Armalite or DPMS ARs today, Rock River, and looking to transfer parts across those or have backups, those will not work. If I had known that before purchasing this, I probably would have went a different route. Just for me, I like to have multiple weapons in the same configuration, and so that they're backups to each other. I can strip parts off of one to fix another, or have single replacement parts to fix any of them. That's a big ding on it. Accuracy, I've only ran this out to like 70 yards right now. Got it sighted in. It looks like it's going to shoot MOA out with M80 Milser. So I think it's going to be plenty accurate for what my use. If you're a 1,000-yard shooter, I don't know. I haven't had it out to any kind of distance to say how it's going to be yet. The reliability. Now granted, it was the day this happened. It was 10 degrees outside. The weapons have been sitting in the truck overnight for multiple days in below 0-degree temperatures. Had multiple bolt overrides. First 10 rounds or something ran through fine. After that, started getting bolt overrides. And I think I'll try to cut in some footage here. I took some footage shooting and show you that. Whether that was a lubrication and cold issue, it was, it was the first time shooting. It had cleaned and lubricated it, and then it's at I think probably actually CLP on that. and down to the cold. So no frog lube or anything like that, but standard, one of your standard gun oils. Could have been over lubricated and cold and been causing those issues. So I'm not going to completely write it off yet, but anytime a system doesn't run reliably with no matter what parameters I throw at it, I am leery to put my life in its hands. So for me, this has to come a long way to prove itself as a true powder rifle for me. Still be my FAL for right now. Which kind of disappointed. I really wanted this to fit that role, which is the whole reason I purchased it. But so we'll see. Maybe just maybe it was just a lubrication and cold issue, and that will work itself out. I would have to say too that sometimes magazines can try that, can cause that. I was running Magpul, all brand new AR-10 mags. So neat gun. Like the features and the weight. It may be more of a range toy today than a battle rifle. So let's talk about this Troy TRX Extreme .308 rail. I've got a video in the works. Battery died at the end right when I was doing the install on this, but hopefully I should have that up soon. Finish that. Actually, I just may put it up as it is. This, I'm not crazy about their design, and I kind of go into this a little bit about in the other video. It took a lot of tweaking to try to get this rail to be solid, and it still does have a little bit of flex in it. Just compared to some of the other, like Midwest Industries, JP Enterprises, Apex. I'm just not crazy about their design of how they lock that rail on there. Yeah, brings to mind, me and my son went to see Lone Survivor, right? And you see these guys' rifles, and I don't know if all of you did this, but that was one of the things I paid attention to, is seeing these rifles bounce down a mountain, and picking them up and wondering, is that scope still zeroed? And that's what it's what you need in a weapon system like that, right? It's got to be 100% reliable. Would this Extreme .308 Extreme rail take a fall down a mountainside? Yeah, I don't think so. Not if if you had a iron sight mounted on the front. I definitely would not trust it. It's just not secure enough. To do it again, I would go back and pay the extra money for an Apex or JP Enterprises probably, or even now Midwest Industries. I've always liked Midwest Industries stuff. For the price, they have some great gear. They have a new .308 rail that will fit the DPMS low profile, and I may actually just try to pick that up and get rid of the Troy rail. Love the looks of the Troy rails, but just their mounting system just is not doing it for me on the AR-10. Please comment, subscribe. Let me know if any other gear you'd like to see reviewed. Give some feedback. I'm new, trying to do this. I've been a shooter my entire life, but I've never really done videos and reviews. So feel free to give me your feedback, and pass it along to your friends. Thanks for watching. Silent Sentry. Stay in the fight.